So here we are in the centre of Bern with Young Boys blogger Max Power. So hoping to get a chat with Max about the Young Boys team, the club, the culture. So first of all, in terms of the draw, what's been the reaction of Young Boys supporters to the draw?
Well, with me being also Rangers, I was all afternoon, evening at work. I was looking at it, and we saw it's a tremendous big club coming to Bern, and that's what Europa League is all about. You get a big club like that playing in Bern, and a lot of people now they want to also travel to Glasgow to see the game. So I think for a lot of fans, this is the main destination to go to.
It's been a bit of a roller coaster for Young Boys over the last 20-30 years with relegation, almost the bridesmaid in terms of the league. So when you finally get around to winning the league for the last 32 years, how has that affected the club?
That's tremendous. Until that day, there was the verb called verjangbojsen, and that was in place about 10 years, and all the time Young Boys nearly succeeded but didn't make it. There was verjangbojsen again, so you were known as you nearly get there but you lose, and then when you win that, since then it's gone. That myth of not winning anything is all gone, and then if within 2 years you win twice, you go to Champions League, and what we've never done before. So that was.
So obviously that's put a real shine on the club. You've been in the new stadium since about 2001. In terms of the supporters, how's that affected the support? I believe there's been a big surge in the number of season tickets.
That changed tremendously. Before, 2 years ago, it was always easily to get any game, any ticket. But by now there's a huge increase, about 5,000 more season tickets nearly. And the average was 16,000, 17,000 a game. Now last season it was 25,000 a game. So that just exploded.
In terms of the team, do they have a certain style? Are they based in defence or as say in America, offence?
The Young Boys always play, in my point of view, they try to have offensive football. And the last 2 years they scored a lot of goals, so they had the highest average goal scoring team. So like in 2010, where they nearly reached the title, is all about attacking football and nice football. And also the main impact, I think, was, and in previous years, was the whole team believed in each other. So everyone was fighting each other. If a ball wasn't precise on a man, he tried to reach it and keep the ball alive. And that's the main difference.
In terms of the team, let's say you just picked two players, I'm not even saying the most popular players, but the two players that you would like to see starting the games against Rangers.
Well, one he's injured at the moment a bit, is Guillaume. He came to Bern a few years ago, and he's a French player. He's scoring a lot of goals, important, but just when he's on the pitch, he wants to win, and he gave that belief back that we can actually win something. And then he's not playing, he's not starting, but the second goalkeeper now, Marco Welfli, he's been in the club for about 15 years or something, or even longer, and he was, when they won the first championship after 32 years, he was in place, he was playing that game, so he's a big boost. He's the one I'd like to start, even though he's not the first goalkeeper, but for important games I'd like him as a starter.
Now obviously, because of the problems Rangers have had, the club isn't taking tickets for the game. So in terms of the young boy experience, how would you describe the stadium? Does it, compared with other teams in Switzerland, is it quite a lively stadium? What about the displays of the fans? Is it quite a good, healthy culture?
It is very much so. It's a very lively culture. Everyone tries to do a lot of how are these called, the displays. So they have a lot of displays at every important games, nearly all international games. So the culture there in Switzerland is really the ultra culture. So they try very hard, and they do amazing displays with just the stand where they're standing in, or the whole stadium. So
in terms of the pitch in there, there's this kind of cliche that people say, it's everybody's got the latest kind of synthetic surface. Has the synthetic surface affected Young Boys?
Well, they have the news. They just replaced it now. But there was in the blog I write for. They analysed that, and that has no real effect. There's the teams that play on plastic surface. The other teams make as many points, and the Young Boys especially took nearly as many points away as at home. So that's a myth.
So that's your advice to Steven Gerrard, is don't worry about the surface?
I wouldn't think so. Especially the ones that now in play is a bit quicker. It was at the very first point was different. The game was slower. The ball would bounce a bit different, and also the people had to run like to stop. They couldn't stop fully. Where in grass, when you stop fully, you just have the extra. You slither a bit. Whereas in the plastic pitch, it's always full stop, and by now it's okay.
Okay. And in terms of how Young Boys have been so far this season, what have the results been like? But also behind the results, what have the performances been like?
They were a lot of passion in it. A few games, especially the ones against Zurich, you saw really that it's a game they can win easily, but they don't just want to win 1, 2, 3-0. They want to hammer in 5, 6, 7. They scored 4, but after they've been 4-0 up, they had a counter-attack, and like 6 players ran up the pitch and said, I want to have the ball, I want to have the ball, I want to score. So they're hot, they're on fire.
So before we move to finishing off, we're getting a prediction for the score from you. You're going to have to explain your accent to us.
Well, I used to work in the northeast of England, and I've been many times to Scotland. And as having a Bernese accent, we do the r and the ch and the o's as well in our language. That's why. Is that a score? Well, no matter what, over both games, each a home win probably, and both teams should go to the next round.
So that would be your impartial hope, is that it's effectively a draw over the 2 legs?
Probably, yeah, and a good draw, 3-3.
Well, thanks for the insight, and we'll be posting up links to your blog. Hopefully those who can speak German can read it, and you might even throw in a few in English for us over the coming period. So enjoy your game at home, and we'll see you at Ibrox as well.
You definitely will.